Many years ago, God called a little girl to be a missionary. But how can God call a little girl, you may ask? God spoke through two people, a first-grade teacher who was deeply interested in missions, and a Wesleyan missionary to India, Mary Green. Being a missionary takes a lot of preparation, and that takes a lot of money. Yet this little girl grew up and went to college. She had only $40 to start with. $40 and God. A small beginning, but a big God. I was that little girl. It has amazed me all through the years how God works in little things. In a country like Nepal, for instance, encompassing 7 of the world's 10 highest peaks, breathtaking in its natural beauty. Nepal is no larger than my home state of Indiana. For centuries, it stood in inaccessible isolation. Its people have always been very religious. The saying goes that there are more temples than houses in Kathmandu and more gods than people. The people of Nepal see little need for a new religion. For 2 centuries, the door to Nepal was tightly closed to Christianity, but God's people did not forget. In the early 1900s, a number of young people migrated from Nepal to India. There, a few of them encountered the gospel, and a vision was born. A vision of taking the good news back to their own people. But Christians were forbidden entrance to Nepal, even Nepalese Christians. These young people grew old. They passed the vision on to their children, and their children passed it on to another generation. There was little to encourage these people, but they prayed and waited for God to work in a big way. While they prayed and waited, I worked and studied and prayed for God's guidance. The little girl God had called to be a missionary was now a graduate nurse. And because God works in big ways, He had given me my heart's desire to be a missionary in India. Little obediences had led me to my goal. Now small tasks of love and service filled my days, and all of the time events were working together that would lead me to a tiny country on India's northern border, Nepal. As I was arriving in India in 1951, the door to Nepal was opening up to the outside world, a little bit. Among the first to enter that opening were grandchildren of the Nepalese who had lived in India so long. There were also 4 young Indian Christians, graduates of Union Biblical Seminary. The 4 found work and set up a household. Their custom of family devotions drew the attention of neighbors. Questions were asked, and God began to add to their number those who were being saved. A small beginning. From the start, there has been little an outsider could do by way of direct evangelism in Nepal. That has made it necessary to find quiet and inconspicuous ways of making Christ visible to its people. 10 mission boards reacted to this unique situation by banding together. Some walked in from Darjeeling. Others came from North India. This newly formed group set up a variety of ministries: healthcare, education, agricultural projects, and industries. They helped Nepalese develop professional and leadership skills. They became involved in local congregations, which have grown from 7 with 250 Christians to as many as 100 congregations with more than 15,000 attending. In 1958, I joined the United Mission to Nepal as a representative of Wesleyan World Missions. I am only one among 400 missionaries representing 37 mission boards and 20 countries. and I have served in little ways. But taken as a group, we missionaries have a daily working relationship with more than 1,700 Nepalese. We are in Nepal to help the people in the name and spirit of Jesus Christ, making him known by word and life. Some missionaries are educators, some are doctors, some teach at the new medical school in Kathmandu, some work at United Mission headquarters, some are builders, electricians, or maintenance personnel. Some help Nepalese young people learn trades. Some work with hydroelectric projects or the Department of Consulting Services. As a Wesleyan missionary, my own role in Nepal has changed many times. I served first as a nurse in the USAID clinic, taking care of the health needs of Americans in foreign service. During my second term, my work brought me more into contact with the people of Nepal, first as a nurse at Shantabawan Hospital, then as a nurse in a village dispensary in Ampipo, Gorkha district. For a decade, I taught in the United Mission School of Nursing. Day by day, little by little, I saw young Nepalese women develop into competent nurses and nursing educators. Several of them accepted the Lord. In-service education and a stint in the mailroom and in the health services library followed. Since 1982, I have been on the staff of Tribhuvan University in Kathmandu. My role there was to teach postgraduate nursing courses in child health. Sometimes the hospital was my classroom, as students learned firsthand how to assess newborns and children, and give specialized nursing care. It has been a joy to work with students, sometimes traveling to outlying places to supervise and evaluate their practice teaching. Although I could not preach, I had opportunities to state my faith. Sometimes my fellow teachers asked questions which opened the door for a clear witness. God has been able to use these limited ways of witnessing. My life had to be my witness. Some of my friends have chosen to follow Christ. You have had a major part in my unique role as a Wesleyan missionary in Nepal. You have prayed, a little thing you may think, but bringing big results. You have supported me faithfully over these many years, sending me where you could not go. Please continue to join me in praying for Nepal. Little things are big when God is in them.